The year is 2002 and Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland has just been released on the Game Boy Advance. Development on this game started a year prior while Kirby Right Back At You was still airing. HAL Laboratory wanted there to be a companion game to release along with the anime, since there were no new Kirby games being developed at the time. From the beginning, it was planned to be a remake of Kirby's Adventure, but there was one man who was entirely opposed to the idea. Masahiro Sakurai. Sakurai wanted to either port a SNES game onto the Game Boy or just make an entirely new Kirby game altogether. There was two problems with the SNES port idea. For one thing, HAL was afraid that re-releasing a game so quickly would just be seen as lazy, and for another, the button layout on a Game Boy Advance is much different than that of a Super Nintendo. The other reason they wanted to do a remake of Kirby's Adventure is because they wanted to get this game out as quickly as possible so that they could market it with the anime. The reason they chose Kirby's Adventure was because they thought it would introduce an entirely new generation of players to the Kirby franchise without giving them a game that's overly complicated. You know what? To their credit, HAL Laboratories was right. This did hit a whole new generation of Kirby fans. Namely, me. This was the first Kirby game I ever played, and I played it all the time when I was little. Will Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland stack up to the amazing Kirby's Adventure, or will it fall into the realm of mediocre remakes? Let's find out. The story of this game is the exact same as in Kirby's Adventure. For a quick recap, Kirby, as well as the denizens of Dreamland, find they cannot dream anymore, so Kirby goes to investigate the fountain of dreams, where he finds King Dedede. The Star Rod, which gives people their dreams, is nowhere to be found since King Dedede shattered it into 7 pieces and gave the pieces away to his henchmen. Kirby sets off on a quest to reform the Star Rod and defeat King Dedede. When he does, though, Kirby accidentally releases a being called Nightmare, who has been causing nothing but nightmares throughout Dreamland. King Dedede was actually trying to steal away Nightmare within the fountain of dreams, rather than just be a dummy-based some jerk. Kirby defeats Nightmare and saves the world. The end. Why am I breathing heavy? You all know I just edited that to be faster. Anyway, story is the same, so I find it only fair to give the story the same rating as Kirby's Adventure. With all of that in mind, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland story gets an A+. Once again, the gameplay for this game is the exact same as Kirby's Adventure, except there is one major difference that accelerates this game way above its predecessor. The lag is gone. Gone are the days of having too many objects on the screen leading to lag, which would lead to dropped inputs. No. That's all gone now. A lot of the challenges that were crazy hard in the original game are now super easy now that the game never drops your inputs. It makes the game feel faster and more fun to play. A smaller point for sure, but the sub-games that this game includes are so much better than the ones in the original game. We kept Samurai Kirby, but alongside it, instead of the crane game and the egg-catching game, now we have Bomb Toss and Air Grind. These two sub-games are miles better than the others. I remember playing these sub-games for hours as a kid, trying to perfect them. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland literally plays like the original game, but better, and with an added bonus of better sub-games. With all that in mind, Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland's gameplay gets an A+. God damn, this game looks beautiful. The animation is so fucking good in this game. The director of this game was getting so much flack from Sakurai because he put in so many frames of animation that Sakurai believed the director was sacrificing gameplay responsiveness for quality animation. I can definitely say that in practice, that this is not the case. The gameplay is still as responsive as ever with all of this beautiful animation. There's also one major difference in this game from the previous that really helps the gameplay experience. Kirby changes appearance with his copy abilities. I remember all of the times in the original game where I forgot I had copy abilities because I'm a dumbass who can't read, but having Kirby literally look different works wonders. Also, the soundtrack has never sounded better than it does with the Game Boy Advance sound font. It really makes all of the songs really come to life. That Nightmare battle theme intro that I said hyped me up like no other in Kirby's Adventure, my love of that song started here, in this game. It's just so fucking good in every way. With all that in mind, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland's presentation gets an A+. To complete Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, you must do the same thing you do for Kirby's Adventure. You must get all of the switches and complete the normal mode, and then do the same for the extra mode where you only have half health. Where this game differs, however, is in one mode that blew my mind as a kid when I unlocked it. That mode is Meta Nightmare. In this mode, you must play through the whole game in one sitting, still with half health, just like an extra mode, except now, you play as Meta Knight. This mode is so cool, mostly because Meta Knight is just my favorite Kirby character right now. This game mode is even more difficult, however, because it is essentially playing the game on extra mode, while only being able to use the sword ability. Once you 100% all 3 game modes, you get the sound test! Old traditions. With all the quality of life improvements this game has, as well as the technical improvements of the game, I can say with 100% certainty that this game is worth completing. Meta Nightmare is too much of a treat. Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland is a game that is very near and dear to my heart. It was my first ever Kirby game. It's what introduced me to the Kirby game series. I vividly remember playing Super Smash Bros. Melee, seeing Kirby, falling in love with him, finding out about Kirby Right Back Atcha airing on Foxbox, and then while watching that, seeing the ads for this game. I played this game day in and day out, and it was one of the few games that I played back then where I didn't put it down until I beat it. Call it nostalgia, call it rose-tinted glasses, call it biased, I don't care. This game deserves every bit of praise it gets, and it is truly one of my favorite Kirby games of all time, and the definitive way to play Kirby's Adventure. With all of that in mind, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland gets my overall rating of an A+. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the new format of the retrospectives. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. All the social media are in the description below, so check them out as well. We also got merch in the description. Next week, we will be looking at the next Kirby game in the lineup, Kirby Air Ride. But if you're too impatient to wait a week, you can become a channel member and watch it right now. I'm Bottles, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.